It's time to understand some use cases, some benefits, or why we need Azure AVD in that particular situation. So in this video, that's what we are going to talk about. It's more of a use case video, more of a video where you need to talk to the customer and let them know how AVD can help them. All right, so let me make a note of this topic. It's Azure AVD. Let's start with the benefits first. So let me type with the benefits and then we relate these benefits with the use cases and how AVD is going to help them. That will make perfect sense. So today's video will start with the benefits of Azure AVD. All right. So as of now, I'm pretty sure you guys have a pretty good idea what are the benefits that we can grab out of the understanding of AVD that we had. So let's recall all those videos and try uh, thinking the benefits out of that knowledge. So the very first thing is we can easily understand like everybody is whosoever is accessing, they are accessing these desktops or these applications located at the same place, a centralized management. All those authentication is happening at the same place. So what? Centralized management. If we compare it with any other traditional method like providing the laptop, providing the VM on the machine or on the cloud or things, anything, any traditional way that could be a little decentralized and a little tough to manage, which can be cumbersome or inconsistent. But AVD provides us the centralized management, making it easier to apply updates, patches, and policies across all virtual machines. Centralized management. I think I should use the blue, which would be a little more visible. Okay, this point is clear. What else? Well, we did talk about like when we go with the Azure AVD, one of the most uh, compelling reason is the security, because traditional methods often involve higher risk of data breaches, especially with physical devices or things are going outside your premises. But AVD keeps the data within the Azure environment, leveraging all those advanced Azure security features to protect the data, both at rest and in transit. And there are multiple other features. You can apply your zero trust principles there. You can apply defense in depth there. We will talk about how to secure your Azure AVD in a next session, all those amazing things. And in a nutshell, Azure AVD is far more secure as compared to providing a separate laptop to each workforce or giving them any other traditional method. So we can say enhanced security is one of the benefit that we will get if we use Azure AVD as per our use case. Now, this another thing is in Azure Virtual Desktop, you can spin up as many VM as needed. So scalability. And if you don't need them, you can remove them. So those are the flexibility, like the typical benefit of any cloud environment. Because if you are doing something on premises, so you have to purchase that many virtual machines or that many laptops. But here it can be as per the demand. So we can say scalability and flexibility. All right. If we will be learning AWS, then they must be using elasticity. They just love this term elasticity and use it everywhere. Anyways, AWS is also a good scope to learn. We'll try someday. So another benefit that we can think of is cost, because of the scalability, flexibility, because it gives you pay as you go model, because Usually, organizations have all those MS365 licenses. With those licenses, you don't need to buy any more license for AVD. So it's a pretty cost efficient solution that you can manage centrally, which will enhance your security, and it can work as per the demand comes, right? Like any other cloud benefit this service gives us. Then we are running on cloud, and we talked about in the previous video, the control plane is a global service for Azure AVD. You can come from anywhere in the world, and a traffic manager will divert you to the nearest location for the web service, and the Azure front door will let you in from the nearest location with the low latency gateway, so that you can land on the correct session host nearby, low latency. So those features will help you design your DR better, or you need not to think a lot or purchase so many hardwares, but DR will be uh, will be uh, will come with built-in failover capabilities, ensuring business continuity with minimal effort. Uh, as compared to the setting up traditional DR solutions, which can be complex and costly. AVD FS Logics, if you remember, we talked about Cloud Cache, so which has a brilliant feature of using multiple locations to copy the profile data. So you can understand how the DR will be implemented with the minimal effort. So BCDR, let's call it BCDR simplified here, and which is something very important if we talk about the businesses, right? Business continuity. All right, then finally the user experience, because traditional VDI solutions can be complex to deploy and manage. AVD provides a seamless user experience with easy access from any device, improving productivity, satisfaction, and all managed through the same authentication and things like that. So the user experience is pretty brilliant. So by leveraging Azure AVD, organization can achieve a more secure, scalable, cost-effective solution for their desktop and application delivery needs. This makes AVD an excellent choice for traditional methods in we can talk about the various use cases. All right, so let me bring all this at the corner right here. Okay, these are the some wonderful benefits that we talked about of Azure AVD. Now let's try to get this with try to understand or comprehend these benefits with the help of some use cases. So let's suppose there is an organization, a company with employees working from different locations, and this company needs to provide a consistent and secure work environment for those people. So Azure AVD definitely can help here, because Azure AVD provides or enable the remote workforce. So that is one of the use case, remote workforce enablement. And if our organization, or in this particular use case, if we use Azure AVD, we will get all these benefits, a centralized management, enhanced security, and all those things that we talked about. Let's see a second scenario. Let's suppose there is a retail company which needs to ramp up its workforce during the holiday season and scale down afterwards, which means seasonal and temporary workforce. So, in this situation, you can simply, rather purchasing so many laptops or so many other traditional way for this workforce, you can simply plug in Azure AVD on work, and you can easily you can easily scale those session host, right? Because scalability and flexibility is one of the feature, and it is also the benefit of this Azure AVD seasonal. So Azure AVD can help here very easily. Now let's suppose there is a consulting firm, or it's a startup, and they are just maybe allowing, or maybe it's the requirement, or maybe it's the need of the company. They are just starting to use, or asking, or requesting, or allowing people to use their personal devices, like bring your own devices. But they also don't want to manage it through things like Intune and all, but they just want them to use the devices. So you can leverage Azure AVD here, uh, well, because Azure AVD keeps work data separate from personal data, ensuring corporate data security. And users can access their virtual desktop from any device, including tablets, smartphones, and personal laptops. So, if bring your own device kind of situation is there, Azure AVD can help in achieving what the organization want in that particular situation without compromising the security and productivity. Now, let's suppose there is a healthcare provider needs to ensure that patient data is securely accessed and complies with regulatory requirement. If it's healthcare, the requirement is HIPAA, right? So AVD definitely supports regulatory compliance with features like multi-factor authentication, data encryption, and compliance certifications, along with secure access because of centralized control and monitoring, ensuring that sensitive data is protected and access is restricted based on roles and permissions. So we can simply say ABD can be leveraged or utilized in high security and compliance requirement, right? And compliance need or requirement scenarios. All right, let's say one more, because if you see, these are the example of all, each of the benefits that we talk about. Now it's time to explore the BCDR. So let's suppose there is a financial services company needs to ensure that their operation can continue in case of a disaster. So Azure AVD can definitely help here, because it can quickly restore virtual desktop environments in a different Azure regions in case of failure in the prime region. And Azure's global infrastructure ensures high availability and resiliency. So if these kind of situations are there, Azure AVD could be easily leveraged for this BCDR situation. And if there is a software development company which needs a flexible environment for testing and development purposes, then AVD definitely help here for such situation. Like developers can create and test application in isolated virtual desktop without impacting the production environment, and this easily scale resources up or down based on the testing needs. So there you go. We can say development and testing environment in an uh, uh, isolated way environment. So with this, we just try to understand. Actually, the question was, why should we use Azure AVD, or when should we use Azure AVD, right? So these are the use cases for when should we use Azure AVD, and these are the benefits why should we use Azure AVD. And I hope it was helpful, informative. Well, thank you for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye bye.